Well, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Project Time Garage, a very messy Project Time Garage. So I bet a bunch of you guys thought I just got lost and fell off the face of the earth, didn't you? Well, I haven't. It's just been really busy, planting season, whole lot of stuff like that going on. So been really busy and running and working, but we're not done here. We're not done here at all. Got a bunch of projects going on here that we're gonna get to. Dragged a few home. So we got some content for this summer. We got some pretty cool content for this summer. In fact, check out a sneak peek of an upcoming video this summer. But anyway, we're going to start ramping back up video production here in the next few days and weeks. So be sure and watch us. Anyway, today on the rack is Freedom. This I don't know if you guys haven't followed my channel much. Freedom is a 2001 Ford F250 with a 7.3 Powerstroke, and we call it Freedom. So I've done a few things on this channel to this truck, but a lot of you guys had expressed a lot of interest over time to see other things that I do to it as I do things to it. And today is going to be that. Quick 30-second overview of it for those of you who are interested in these trucks and maybe haven't seen, this channel very much. I bought this thing out of Kentucky back several years ago with, I don't know, nearly 300,000 miles on it. Had a supposed bad engine. Anyway, we went through and did a lot of work to it, and injectors and cups. And long story short is, put it back on the road, and we've been driving it, like really driving it. This is a toolbox for me. Basically, it's not that I don't like the truck. I really like it, but it's basically like a hammer or a pair of pliers. I use it when I need it for what I need it for. I don't really baby it. I don't really, I'm not really careful with it. I just use it. That being said, maintenance and things like that, I'm on top of that. Buying good parts, good fluids, keeping on top of things. Expect that things should last the rest of my natural life. So anyway, today we got a few little odds and ends we're going to take care of on the truck. Just some things that have kind of gone a little off. The major thing we're going to have going on here today is brakes. Like, I have no rear brakes on the truck, and I was in Kentucky. In fact, the last time this truck broke down was in Kentucky with the whole shifter thing breaking. I had to slam a 1/4-inch drive ratchet down the steering column. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'll put a video to that up here. That was pretty funny. Or up here. It's been a while. One of these corners is going to have that video. Anyway, went to push the brakes. They went to the floor, and it's gushing brake fluid out there under the passenger side frame rail, up under the gas tank. It's a hard line that's rusted in half, I'm sure of it. Apparently this is a pretty common thing for these trucks, and we're gonna fix that here today. Jury's still out on whether or not I'm gonna drop the tank or whether I'm gonna snake a piece of 1/4-inch brake line around it. I don't know, but needless to say, we'll do it properly into factory spec. All right, let's get started. Let's get this thing up in the air and let's dive into that first, and then we'll jump into a few other little things we're gonna do. So here we go. Just noticed something else here. I'm gonna have to take care of, I think, on this. you know, I've fixed this a couple of times, and you know, I'm using very professional methods of, you know, repair, so I can't imagine why it keeps failing. Also, listen, you guys, if you guys hear that buzzing noise in there, well, that's a cicada. And in Tennessee right now, it is very much cicada season. These little things are noisy. And they get worse. It's been rainy a little bit and kind of cool, so it's took a little bit of wind out of their sails. But these damn things are loud and obnoxious. And whenever you mow the yard, they just like swarm to the sound of the mower. So you're like literally covered in these things from head to toe. If I find one, I'll show one to you in case you guys have never seen one. Pretty icky. Okay, so the brake leak is right there. You can see where it's been dripping down all over the place. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump under here and see where that brake line goes. And obviously, if I can avoid dropping the tank, I'd like to, but if I have to drop it, I have to drop it. But I think what we're going to try to do here is just see if maybe we can find a union, or maybe where it goes into a proportioning valve or something, and maybe just tie into it there and do it that way. So let's see what we have. All right, so I think what we're going to do here, just for reference, there's the lift pump, and if we follow right up, you'll see right here there's a fitting. That's factory union, I do believe, or it looks to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to split it right there at that union, and we're going to pull that piece of hose out of there if we can, and maybe try to rebend one that's something similar to it, and just kind of run it right back through there. See if we can just replace it. On the back here, it comes up to a fitting right there. It turns into a soft line at that point, and if I follow that soft line up through here, it has a fitting right up there that goes from the hard line to the soft line, and right about there somewhere is our rusty problem, looks like. Okay, so we got to get that out. I guess we'll start with the back first. Anybody taking bets on whether that's a 12 or whether it's going to be standard? 7/16 probably. 7/16 24, I'm guessing. There we go. Look at that, came right loose. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so now that that's out, let's try to get our keeper out of there. That's gone forever. Now we have to get, I just got to finish getting that out of there. That's going to be a problem, I have a feeling, because it's really, really seized up. We can shock it a little bit with some PD Blaster. I hope I don't get this in your eye, or mine. Nope, didn't get in your eye. Good. All right, let's try it again. Like that. Let's try that. That way I can hold it and work it at the same time. Kind of. Except I'm holding the wrong part. It's my first day, I'm new. I don't really want to screw this up too bad because I may reuse this line, I don't know. Let's Oh, yeah, we're moving now. Good stuff. That's probably good enough to get a regular 7/16 wrench on. All right, regular 7/16. While we have this thing out, we're going to get it really cleaned up, I think. All right, so that looks to free up a lot of this line here. I don't know if it's attached somewhere else. That actually looks like it's not attached anywhere else. Looks like it just kind of, I know you probably can't see this because it's a really hard place to get to, but it looks like that line is kind of free down through here. Not a lot of room. My truck doesn't go up very far in this garage. The front, you can see the fitting there. I went ahead and sprayed it down with some PB Blaster, just kind of preparing for the fight that we're about to have, I'm sure, with this. So get some wrenches on that and see if we can get the front side off, and then maybe we can unclip this and kind of snake it out of there some. We'll see. Looks like this union here is about a half, but it's sort of swelly, so looks like it's about this size. Roughly. I don't want to crush that, so be careful. Okay, that one's going to be, oh, no, there it went. Excellent, good stuff. That's actually loose too. All right, we're winning. We never win. A little more slippery slide there. Hopefully we can just take an open end, 7/16, and just ride out easy, hopefully. All right, so now it does actually move pretty freely. Just need to decide which way I want it to come out. If I want it to come out the front or the back. I'm thinking I want it to come out to the front, because there's way more room up here to do things, activities. So actually I see one clip that it's in way down there. I think that's the brake line that's in it. It is, yep. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing way down there, but there's one little clippy clip. Of course you can't, probably. One little clip right down there that it's still in, so let's pop it out of that. Now that looked really tough to get to, but it's actually right here. That was easy. Oh, there's the filter that I added to this truck several years ago. Fuel filter. It just gets in right there in line. Man, has this thing really been on here that long? Looking back, it looks like it's been on here for about 3 years. Probably should change it. But anyway, it's got a water separator on the bottom of it, and that's cool. And since I've been running this, whenever I do a filter change up front, the filter is just immaculate. So, you know, too much filtration. Is there any such thing? I started pulling this hard line out, and it doesn't, it's really too big, I think, to pass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart here, because I think that might yield some results for me. Let's see if it just pops loose or not. Probably not. No, it's not gonna. So there's our rear hose. Now hopefully we can get this thing pulled on through here. They kind of look. Just in case there's anybody wondering how it comes out. Like that. Now, just got to remake that. Okay, what we have here now is a near perfect representation of the original brake line on this truck. Except when you get out here to the end where all these little bitty bends are, I just kind of, you know. And something else that I've done here. This rubber hose, I'm eliminating that rubber hose. I don't know. I mean, the big reason is because I don't have a fitting for it and I can't find a fitting for it. This is the fitting it uses. And while it looks like a compression fitting, it's not. Plus, who uses compression fittings in brakes? That's kind of a no-no. But it looks like some other type, I don't know, weird, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I went to 2 different parts houses and tried to figure out what the damn thing was called, and nobody could tell me. Everybody just said, well, it looks like compression fitting to me. And I'm like, well, yeah, me too, but it's brakes. And I can't believe that factory did that. So either that's not original or it's some other fitting that maybe aliens landed and put on this truck one-off or something. I don't know. Also, I did try to get this complete line as an assembly from Ford, and they do not offer the hard line for these trucks. As a matter of fact, if you go out to the Ford parts website, there are no hard lines listed at all for these things, period. When I was broke down there in Kentucky, I made a call to the local Ford dealership where I was, and my thought was just, you know, grab the line and stick it on there and move on. But the guy told me that they do not sell hard lines at dealerships, that you have to pull your line off and you can bring it in and they'll match it and remake it. But I've never heard of that before. Maybe somebody else can shed some light on that. It seems weird. But anyway, the moral of the story is this end of the line has what appears to be a compression fitting, but probably isn't. But this end is just a standard old double flare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that 7/16 24 fitting off there, and I'm going to put that fitting, that fitting on this end of the line. I'll just put it on and reflare that fitting and be done with that. And this will basically take the place. That's a little bit longer, but I wanted to make sure that my bends didn't take up too much length. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and kind of lay this gently where it needs to be. I'll cut it, and I'll cut this flare off, and I'll stick that on there, and I'll reflare that end. On this end down here, it's just a simple 7/16 24 flare. So again, I'll cut this off, put it on here, reflare it. And that should be okay because, you know, quite honestly, this rubber line is going into another rubber line. So I guess I don't understand why it's like that, but it is. So I think looking at my other like cars and trucks, the old Dodge sitting out there, my old 74 Ford, all of those, they have hard lines going from basically the master cylinder all the way back to the distribution on top of the differential. So I want to do the same thing here. I'll be wrong, but it's what's about to happen. So stay tuned. Something I've learned cutting these fittings off. It's pretty tempting just to cut it off and then try to fish this thing out. But what I've found is if you pull the fitting back and you cut it off on this end, it's easier to slide forward. So there's that. Right tool for the job. Once you get it cut off, you can kind of twist it and turn it a little bit, and usually it'll pop right off like that. So there's one compression fitting. No, not compression fitting. Flare. Okay, let's flare this puppy. Get in there. There we go. And we'll take our 1/4-inch die, drop him in there. sure that these are nice and tight, nice and tight. That's the first part of our flare made. Now we'll do the double portion of it. Help if I could hit the hole. This long brake line is kind of a pain to deal with. Okay, so there's one side flared. Now I just need to get the other side done. So there's the line. It's together. It's not really touching anything going back through there. And it even snapped back into its little holder there. On the back side, that's the line going up there that you see feeding over and going into that rubber line. Go ahead and open these bleeders and let them kind of gravity bleed a little bit. I know I'm going to have a lot of air in these lines. In fact, I see bubbles coming out now. We'll do this before I get under here and do the whole pumping the brakes bleeding. I've actually had pretty good success with just gravity bleeding them like this. Makes a mess. All right, let me close that one. Let's jump over here to the other one. We'll jump over here to the other one. Do the same. Yeah, there's air coming out of there quite a bit. Look at that. Looks to be about it. All right. So there's that. Guess the next thing we're going to take care of is Mr. Flappy Lip here. And it looks like maybe I fixed it once before with a zip tie and the hole pulled out. So obviously the zip tie is non-workable. So we're going to do that again. Actually, I think it's been up there for like 3 years. If I have to put a zip tie in every 3 years, I'm good with that. Call me lazy if you will. It is what it is. I wish there was a way I could pull it over this way some. I think I'm onto something there. Might start selling that under patent. It's a little floppy lip, but at least it's not hanging down. It is offering some protection for the bottom of the radiator and the bottom of the condenser and the oil cooler there, trans cooler. Okay. Well, what really should happen, I really should just fab something up and build, you know, something that goes, you know, maybe attaches here and then attaches down there, like a piece of metal or a piece of mesh. Probably mesh would be the way to do it. Might look into that at some point. Nope, never happened. Okay, that's easy and that's done. Move on to the next thing. This is what's next. Replacement lights for the old yellow ones. I've had pretty good success in my life with, you know, wet sanding and polishing out these lights and stuff. And I did these about, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. And they held up okay, but like everything else, UV damage just is UV damage and you really can't help it. You put whatever on there and it'll eventually come undone. So I had a choice to keep polishing these or just go ahead and go and buy some replacement housings. And the thing is, I've had a lot of experience with aftermarket, you know, plastic housings. In fact, I've had quite a few of them sent to me for review on this channel. And they're all great and all, but what I've noticed is nothing really seems to beat OEM. So that's what I've done. You can still buy these. These are, there's your part number, 1C3X 13005AA. Fomoco. They even come with bulbs. I believe they're Sylvanias from Ford. So I think these things are like 70, 75 bucks a piece. So they really weren't that expensive. So what the heck, right? Give it a whirl. We'll put one of them in first and we'll look at the contrast before we put the other one in. So let's do that. Guess we'll start with this side. There are 3 connections here that we'll have to take, we'll have to remove. 2 of them are going to be on the top. They're going to be these metal clips here. They just push straight down. The other one's right there. And best way I've found to do it is just get a hook that will go under it and pull them right up. It's best if you don't hold your camera in one hand while you do this. It's best if you know, are able to catch it when it pops out. Don't be like me. Now the last one's a little trickier because it's on the very bottom corner, and what you're looking for is these 2 little squeezy tabs, and you can't really get to them to press them. What you can do is take like a 14mm deep well socket. You can reach down in there and push that on like that. It'll push those ears in and you can pop the housing out. So let's go for that. There's our old housing. I want to apologize again about all these screaming cicadas in the air out here. You think they're annoying on camera, you should try being here in person. Now would be a good time to make sure that our parking lights and our marker lights work, since we're this far into it. Put bulbs in it now if we need to, so see about that. So we have a bat, but we do not have a bat. Good. So I guess we should, oh, there it came, look at that. It came on when I took the thing out. That's pretty interesting. Huh. We just pop it right back in there. Fixed. I'm good with it. Okay. Okay, and with a new housing. Now here's something. Sometimes when you get these, this adjuster will be turned around sideways like this. That's not how it goes. It actually is supposed to point straight up so you can get to it from the top with a star bit in order to adjust it. So make sure you orient that prior to putting the housing in, or you'll take the housing back out. Remember that clip I lost? We got to find another one. Luckily, I work on a bunch of these trucks. So, let's see. No, won't be in that one. Won't be. Oh, look at there. Ha ha ha. Ta-da. It pays to be a hoarder and hang on to junk. I think I've got like 3 of these left. So let's put our clips back in. Okay. Now, what's the difference going to be? Oh, my. Look at that. That looks a million times better. I mean, yuck. Awesome. Yuck. Awesome. I choose awesome every time. Actually, here's the difference with the old and new. Here's the thing. They don't usually look very bright if you're off angle, but when you get down to right where the sweet spot is in that reflector, it's, you know, really bright. You do the same thing with this one over here. It doesn't have that really bright flare to it. And that's why reflector housings suck when they start to get cloudy. Okay, let me throw this other one in real quick and we'll look at the difference. Okay, well that helped the look of it, although that's really not what I was going for. It's a nice bonus. Looks a lot cleaner in the front now. I like. All right, next maintenance item on the list here. The Max AC mod basically has come undone. I need to fix it. If you guys don't know what the Max AC mod is on these earlier trucks, for the most part, essentially it boils down to hot water is always circulating through the heater core, and when you turn on air conditioning, it doesn't shut off that flow of water. So there's some amount of semi-lukewarm air in the system, in there in the heater box, and the air conditioner is trying to kind of fight that. So the modification involves putting a valve, a vacuum actuated valve, actually a Ford part number, under the hood in line with the heater hoses, and we tee into the blend door down here. I think it's a blend door, one of the doors. We tee into that, so when we turn the thing on Max AC, the vacuum that opens the blend door also goes and closes that heater valve. So, you know, there's no more hot water circulating through the core. And interestingly enough, I think this may have been a problem on a lot of these trucks, because my 2003, it already has this from the factory. It's, you know, you turn the AC on and it already has that valve. In fact, I believe the valve that I bought for this one, I've got a whole video on this, and I'm going to put a link up there somewhere above my head to that video. I give you the part numbers and all that stuff. It's a really simple thing to do, and it takes almost no time, but it made a big difference. So if you guys are into keeping your asses cool, that's a worthwhile modification to make on these early trucks. Like I said, I don't think 03 forward needs it, because I think it came from the factory with that. These older ones did not. So anyway, here's my problem right now. This is where I actually did the mod, and this is basically a T, and the idea here is try to get you under where you can see this vacuum canister way back here. This is the door I'm talking about. In fact, you just heard it close. So what this involves is taking this, and I'll show you here in a second a little bit better, but that, and then this line here, I believe, is the one that I sent out to the heater core, to the shutoff. So what we do is this white line here is signal. So that's when you turn on Max AC, this gets vacuum, and that vacuum turns off that heater valve, and then we take the other side of that T and we run back up to where it originally came from. The problem is the hose that I used, it didn't stand up very well. In fact, you can see it's in a bunch of pieces here. So it's just, it deteriorated and fell apart. So I stopped by O'Reilly and got some, I think it's 3/16 or something like that vacuum hose. So I'm gonna fix that real quick, and that'll get my AC back super icy cold, because I'm gonna tell you what, the truck has got an air conditioner. It is cold, cold, cold. And once you turn that valve off, it gets really cold. I mean, it's blowing in the, you know, mid to upper 30s pretty much all the time. So that's good. All right, so basically all we're gonna do here is hook that up, and then I'm gonna send this T up there to the blend door. I'm gonna cut it a little short so that it holds up there. All right, so there the whole mess is, and I'll need to get a zip tie and try and keep that up, keep people's feet out of it. Basically, is what I need to do, keep people from kicking it. I'm not sure where they meant for that to be, but anyway, this is how it is for now. At least it's kind of tucked back out of the way. Alright, I got the truck kicked up on high idle, and it's been running about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. We don't have any air moving across the condenser out there, and we're at, what is that, 38, 39, 40, something like that. So it's not too bad. Ambient temperature outside is about 81, so it's not having to work that hard, but it is getting colder now. We're down, I don't know, that looks to be 37, something like that. Yeah, it's heading south. So anyway, like I said, the truck's got a great air conditioner, and that Max AC mod, that was the stuff, man. Next thing we're going to take care of is this seat cover. It really has no way to retain, so when you get in and you slide across the seat, it just pulls it up. And I'm really interested in taking care of these seats because, as you can see, they are nice. Recovered those in another video. If I think about it, I'll link that up there too. But anyway, the fix is pretty simple here. We pretty much just pull this knob off and pop this panel loose, stretch this thing down, poke a big old hole right there, put it back over where the knob was. Fixed. We'll try to be as non-invasive as possible. It's going to seem pretty barbaric here, but this is how we roll. Looks pretty barbaric, like I said, but sure does work well. Oh, did I forget? I forgot. Why didn't somebody stop me? Tell me that I forgot to put my little lever thing back. Yeah, them's brakes. All right, I should have that fixed up better. Well, all right, guys, that pretty much wraps up my little maintenance session on Freedom here. So, you know, guys, appreciate you watching as usual. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. Guys, I'll see you next time.